Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dub Online Action Summit. Today, I'm here with Cameron, and the Online Action Summit, for a quick moment of context, this is a year-round summit where we have podcast-style recorded conversations with prominent speakers, leaders, and visionaries, and sharing actionable advice, tips, and tricks. So today, I have the pleasure to be here with Cameron Gilmore. And just Cameron, why don't you just take it away? Just maybe give a brief bio of who you are, and get into your talk today.
Sure. Hey, appreciate that. So yeah, like I said, my name's Cameron Gilmore. Quick who I am bio. I'm a father of 10 kids. That's right. You heard me right. I have 10 kids. I have 4 of my own brown kids, and I have 6 what I call bonus children. My wife and I have been married now for 5 years, which has been fantastic. We're a blended family, which is really good. And so brings a lot of fun challenges, a lot of fun things that we get to do, which is awesome. I've been in the business world since 1999, both as a sales rep and a quote unquote leader or a manager. I've built companies from start to, build them up. I've owned and operated a few of my own and myself. My brothers and I have been really, big in building companies. So it's been a lot of fun. I've seen a lot and enjoyed a lot. So what I want to do is, I was asked a question. So one of the things I want to teach on is there's 3 actual items that we're gonna cover. One is how to get people or reps that have never sold, that are not sales rep or not traditional from a sales rep background, and how to bring them up and become better people, first and foremost, and then second, become better sales reps. So this Gen Z, right? So just so you can give context, the last 9 months I've been building a call floor with nothing but college students. 96% of them are college students. With that comes 0 sales experience. I mean, we have yoga instructors, to dance teachers, to people who just walked in and wanted a job, construction workers, all walks of life have come in. And so what we did is we brought them in and we said, we want to build a sales team, a sales organization around these college students. And the reason I wanted to do that is because if we can catch them and start them when they're young, and they don't have developed all these really bad habits, right? So as you can see behind me, we're in growth mode right now. We're still building out. That's why we see all of the cubes up. So the first actionable item that we did, how did we do this? In the last 9 months, we took a sales team, and we added $34 million to the top end of one of our clients, which has been fantastic. And by the way, that is done on part-time. So what I did is we created 2 work days within one work day every day. Ed Mylett talks about it a lot. He talks about creating 3 work days within a 1 work day period. And so that's what we did. We had a morning shift and an afternoon shift. So the first thing that we did, because they had no sales background, is personal development, right? That is the biggest thing that we did, is we focused on the person and the personal development. Now, I hear all the time people about personal development, but if you've never started personal development, if you've never been a part or have done personal development, where do you start, right? So the first thing we got to do is get rid of this 110, 125%, give me 125%, give me 150%. There is no such thing. Flat out, there is no such thing as 110, 120, 150, 1,000%. That has to be out. You have to remove that. As a leader, you have to push that out of your head, right? Because here's why. Your mind, when you were a child, right? We'll go back to when you were kids. You would look up, and I would look up at the sky and go, man, the universe, I could do anything. I wanted to be an astronaut because I wanted to get outside the earth and then see the universe. Later on, we went through school. And as we go through school, then what people did, or teachers or instructors, they would say, hey, listen, let's have a little more realistic goals, right? So maybe not the universe. Okay, let me get the outer space. And then you go through further on, and then it was like, well, maybe it's just the world. Let's get outside the earth. Oh, okay. And then it was like, you need to have realistic goals and realistic dreams. And then the sky is the limit, right? If you look up, you can see the sky, depending on, like today I walk outside and the sky is like right there in my face. So 100% is what we require, is what I require every day from my people. Now, you could be, I'm only 60 or 70% in coming into work. My brain's not all there. Everybody, life gets in the way. A lot of these kids have finals and midterms and schools. A lot of them were dating, they weren't dating, had breakups and makeups and whatever it was. So sometimes they would come in and be only at 80%. I'm only 80% here. So I would tell them, give me 100% of your 80%. And what they would do is every day they would increase 1% every single day. And that's what we focus on. So we train the brain. First, we train the brain personally on to focus on what they could do that day. What could you give me today? I want you to give me everything you got, 100%. I don't care if you were 50% there. Give me 100% of your 50%. And what we saw and what we're able to help mold them is to really start to visualize and see themselves. So then we created what's called an attitude of gratitude. Every single day they came in and wrote down 3 things that they were grateful for. 3 things different. Before they started their shift, give me 3 things you were grateful for. And then once that was the attitude, and then the gratitude, right? Gratitude and then attitude. So the attitude was, what was the 3 things we wanted to focus on? What were the 3? And it wasn't numbers. How many sales were we going to get? No, none of that. That wasn't what we were focused on. We were focusing on overcoming objection was the biggest one. So we would find, if 10 people told me, Mo, I needed to find 2 of those that I can convert to say yes. And how would we go about doing it? What did we need to do? And so we would instruct them. We would help them. We would teach them. We would coach them, right? So then we'd help them personally develop their own game plan, personally develop what they were looking at every single day to come in. Because if you come into an office, listen, let's be honest, it's all about numbers, right? Numbers. What'd you do for me today? Yes, it was great. But what are you doing for me today? We can't, if we're putting the thumb down on our people like that, you will get burnout. That's why sales has such a high turnover. We're burning our people out. We're not giving them the opportunity to succeed and grow. So listen, what we did is we focused every single day on measurables. The gratitude first was the biggest thing. Then the attitude came second. So then the personal development side, for 1 month, we did this. And what we saw was this exponential growth of people coming in and saying, man, I am grateful. Look, I am grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful that I'm learning. I've got 20 plus years of business experience. My assistant manager, he has 30 plus years. So combined, we had 50 plus years of business experience. So we wanted to take all of that, condense it down into measurables, right? So then once we could help them focus on daily measurables, look, it took some time. Listen, this is how sales works, right? You come in, you have training, and then you try to work through the stuff. So it's about a 3 to 6 month window that you actually start to see and really know what kind of rep we had. We didn't have that time. So we reduced everything down and said, listen, when you come into us, training is ongoing. There is no such thing as, well, it's a week long or a month long of training. Training is continual training. So as a leader, you have to be able to schedule out the training. You have to be able to tell these people, we're going to train. You're always going to be in training. Whether it was once a week, we always did once a week. Sometimes we did twice a week. We did the basic training to get them onto the phones and start teaching and pitching. But then it was the advanced training, how to overcome the objection. That was the biggest thing that we focused on, was overcoming the objections. And then we helped them see themselves how we saw them 3 months from now. Because we could see it, right? 3 months from now, this is where we knew they would, this is where we knew we wanted them to be. We had to have them see us through their eyes, through the eyes of how we see them. So if you're injecting that every single day, the attitude of grateful, what are you grateful for? We would stop people and say, what are you grateful for today? What are you grateful? And then they would list off the 3 things that they were grateful. So when then at the end of the shift, right, before they just closed up and left, we'd like, whoa, time out. Go back and review your attitude and your gratitude. What worked? What were the measurables that you were able to attain? Your gratitude was simple. Were you really grateful for it? And it wasn't just, look, at first it was just simple stuff. I'm grateful for the sun to be shining. I'm grateful to have food. Hey, I'm grateful to have a ton of snacks at the office in which I work at. So, but then it was, I'm grateful that I was able to pitch better. I'm grateful that I have more confidence. I'm grateful that I just didn't take no. I'm grateful that when someone told me, hey, I'm at work, great. I just need 2 quick minutes. Let me ask you 2 quick questions. And they would get right into the pitch. And so that attitude of gratitude, always being grateful, right? We were grateful that they were working with us. At the same time, they need to be grateful for what they were doing. So those were the simple measurables. So that's the first thing we did, personal development. Go through personal. If you don't know how to start, here's what I recommend. Get the book through Andy Andrews called The Traveler's Gift. It is a fantastic, I've coached on personal development for years. And that is the first book that I tell everybody to get, is The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. It changed my life. It's changed thousands and thousands of people's lives. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on. So the second objection is, or the takeaway is, actionable item is, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. This new crop of salespeople coming in, you have to teach them, right? They have to feel like you actually care about their success. So people ask, where is my office, right? How come I don't have an office? I don't have a desk. I have a laptop that covers everything we do in business, right? A lot of people are working from home. Those of you who still go in the office, if you're a leader, get out from behind your desk. You will find, and what I have found is that people will listen to more what I say when I'm out of my desk. People will follow more of what I do when I'm not just posted up behind my desk. Nobody follows a desk leader, right? How can you understand what somebody is going through on the phones or pitching or selling if you're a sales manager? How can you understand that if you're stuck behind a desk? There's not enough meetings, there's not enough work that you're doing all day, every day, to be stuck behind a desk. You have to, as a leader, have to schedule and say, listen, this 2-hour block, don't bother me. I need to help my people understand that I care about them. Their success is your success. So get out from behind the desk, get out in front, get down. The best thing I did was get on the phones with my people, sit next to the guys and challenge them. Look, I was great on the phones. I know I was great on the phones. You're great on the phones too. You're great at pitching people. So you need to sit next to your people that are good and pitch with them. They need to listen that you still struggle as well, but they also get tips and tricks. So get out from behind your desk, sit down with your people, pitch with them, talk with them, gamify stuff with them. We used to have gift cards, right? Buy them lunches. I'm like, look, if you can outsell me, I'm gonna buy you lunch. Once these reps, once this Gen Z, right, this new crop of people, once they feel like you really care about them, I'm telling you, I know this because I built it. Once they know that you care about them, care about their success, care about them to learn and become better, look, they come in sales because they have these great visions of making all kinds of money, buying all kinds of cars, going to all kinds of vacation. If you can help them understand that and help them push it to that, that's going to be the best thing for you. That's what this Gen Z does, right? They're not lazy, right? They're not entitled, right? They do ask questions. So understand, when they ask you why, it's not the challenge. They want to understand better. They want clarification, right? Because they're so used to scrolling through their DMs, whether it's on Snap or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, right? They're so used to getting that instant information. So when they ask why, they want to make sure that they're getting the right information. They want to make sure that they're quantifying everything that you're telling them. So when they ask why, it's a good thing. Don't take it as a negative, right? The second thing is really hone back in on your daily attitude and gratitude, right? You need to set your own daily measurables, right? And they can't be this big, long, it's got to be simple. That's why we did 3 and 3. It's really, really simple. So nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. That's the second actionable item, is really care about your people. Get to know them, right? Understand their likes, understand their dislikes, right? Understand we had a bunch of college kids getting married. So we would just buy them lunch. And how easy was that? Buy them lunch, say, hey, congratulations on being married, right? Some people would have these breakups and you're like, oh my, it's like therapy sometimes, but that's really what it is. You're a therapist, right? In a sense, not really, but that's what happens. So that is the second actionable item. All right. So the last one here is the wrap up. Is the third one is replace yourself. Now, this is always been a very touchy subject for a lot of people. What I do, this is what's worked for me over the years, is I'm actively looking for somebody to replace me. I'm actively looking for somebody to replace what I do, how I do, where I do, with what I do. And that's a kind of a scary thought for a lot of people, especially with leaders. They're like, well, I don't want someone to replace me at my job or my current position, right? But remember this, you want all the ships to rise with the tide. That's what you want. You want all the ships to rise with the tide. And to do that, you have to be able to teach people what it is you do and how you do what you do. So The first thing is to find and isolate individuals that you can see yourself in, that you can see those attributes that you have, what makes you a great leader. You want to train them and teach them. You want to inspire them to be able to take your role. I know that's weird to think. I know that's completely backwards. I know people are so, especially now with what's gone on with the pandemic and people losing your job, you just want to keep your job. But I promise you this. I know this for every fiber of my being. I promise you this. You find people that you can train up to teach you, to teach them to replace you. It will only help you excel. Look, as an owner of a company, if you had people that were always constantly trying to uplift others and help them replace, that you would be adding more to their bottom line and the top end revenue. It would blow your mind. Here's how I know. So when I found the assistant manager who became the manager, I wanted him to replace me, right? And so then when I found other parts that I was over, but I needed other people to work with it. So then I started to build my team. And that's what you're doing. When you're talking about replacing you, you're building teams. You're building teams that will help you become better at what you do, because you gotta constantly grow, right? So the second thing is you gotta constantly grow as a leader. You should be doing three things, right? You should be reading a book on personal development, you should be reading a book on sales, and you should be reading a book on management. You should be reading 3 books every single month, right? And as you do that, you will find ways to inspire your team and inspire others. And as you uplift everybody around you, it will help you open up more opportunities, because you'll find that you were put in a certain position because of what you were able to accomplish. And if for the owners, if you can show the owner of your organization, now you have a bigger presence, right? Now you have a better value to that company because you teach people how to be better. You're helping them grow, the company grow, which in turn will help you grow, right? And you've got to always dream big. This is the biggest thing, is you have to dream big. Look, I built a call floor, right? I built a sales organization during a pandemic, during when people were losing, and very, very unfortunate for a ton of people. But I built a call floor to add value to a company. And it was because the dream was so big. There's a part in The Traveler's Gift, right? In Andy Andrews' book, The Traveler's Gift, where the gentleman his name is David, he meets Christopher Columbus, right? And at this point in the book, his crew had been out to sea for 64 days, right? 64 days. And here Christopher Columbus was, and saying, can you see it? I can see it. I can see the land. I can see the new world. I can see what it looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like, the vegetation, everything around it. He said, I can still see it. When everybody around me couldn't see it, I still could see it. And that's what for me, as you're building this generation that has no sales background, you have to dream so big. It has to be so clear, and you have to be so focused on it that when people come and talk to you, they get inspired. They feel it, that infection that comes from them. It's just this attitude of, we're going to do it. And you're going to bring as many people as you can to help you fulfill that dream. That's what we're building. We're still building because we're still growing. And that's the beauty of it. So always dream big. Always dream big with this new generation that's coming, with these new reps that are coming in. You have to dream big, right? You're going to have highs and lows and ups and downs. We get that. But when this up here, right, when your mind is strong, that's why as leaders, you're reading 3 books, a personal development book, a book on sales, and a book on leadership every single month. Look, I don't want to hear that you can't buy it. There's Audibles, $14 a month. You can get books all the time. You can download. There are so many. This isn't a plug, but a good, Ty Lopez has mastermind books that he does. It's $8 a month. There's YouTube. Look, I have multiple mentors. Multiple mentors. I've never met any of them, but they have free content through YouTube, through podcasts. You name it. LinkedIn is great with this. So learn and grow, and you will inspire. I promise you that. So to recap here, because I know we're running short on time. First actionable item is personal development. Teach your reps, these generations, how to set measurable goals and don't focus on numbers, right? Don't focus on sales, but focus on how you can help them become better and how you can inspire them to be better. The second thing to do is, again, nobody cares how much you know until you know how much you care. Get out from behind the desk. Please, I beg you and beg you, get out from behind the desk. Get out there, get in the trenches with them, sell with them, pitch with them, inspire them, learn them, and grow with them. And the third thing is replace yourself. Work on replacing yourself. Work on having somebody come in and teach them and train them so then you can be elevated and they can be elevated and everybody else around you will be elevated. And I promise you this, when you see that and you have passion, you have desire, your organization will grow. Daily reflection, attitude, and gratitude. And I'm telling you, it'll work well. And so those are my tips. Those are my 3 wonderful tips for actual items. So I know there were some questions.
Wow, thank you so much. That was awesome. I do want to just, if we have a minute, touch briefly on the Traveler's Gift. The full title is 7 Decisions That Determine Personal Success. Is there one of those decisions that you could touch on now and just share with us? And then, if there's any comments, feel free to leave a comment. Shout out to Randy, who said spot on with what is being said. If we could talk about the Traveler's Gift, what's one of those 7 decisions that really stands out to you?
So the biggest one is you no longer will you allow somebody else and blame them for your decisions. You will own the decisions that you make. That is the hardest thing to do. When you suck, you better own that decision. When you screw up, you own that decision. But when you do something that inspires others, you own that decision. It is okay to be prideful in that nature. It is okay to say, I'm good, right? Here's what you do. Here's how you own the decision. Now you guys think I'm crazy, but I don't care. I've done this for years. Get up in the morning, you look at 5 things that you like about yourself. My height, the way I look, whatever it is, I'm inspired. And you write, I get a not a permanent marker, but a whiteboard marker right on your bathroom window. And you write, I am bold. I am powerful. I am a leader. I am an inspirational speaker, right? And you breathe in and you just scream it as loud as you can. I am a leader. And what you're doing, Tony Robbins talks about this, the breath that comes in and you push out, and it will help you own the decision. So you'll no longer blame somebody else. You'll never blame the circumstances around you, but you will own your decision. That is the best thing that I love. One of the best of many things that I love about the Traveler's Gift is you will own your decision.
Wow, that's awesome. So check out Andy Andrews. And just to wrap this up, is there anywhere we can find you? And because we had a few questions here that I feel like you answered. You provided me a few questions, and I feel like you answered them so well. Like why would you want to replace yourself? What tools? I guess this one actually, maybe we could touch this. The final end note. What tools do you use to help those work with you feel valued? This is so interesting because especially in the digital world, and you touched on this a little bit. Now this is so important. Being valued when we're apart. It's a whole different tool set than it used to be. So if you have a few words to just kind of close out this summit, I'd love to hear it. And thank you so much.
Yeah. So how do you help those around? So in a digital space, look, here's the thing. We communicate through texting. We communicate through Slack. We communicate through, Snap, whatever it is. Go back to the basics. Pick up the phone and call somebody. If you work remote, pick up the phone and call them. Look, I know Zoom, it's a pain, but if you're going to meet somebody, make sure you have actionable items that you want to cover with them. If you're going to do a Zoom, first you tell them how much you're grateful for them, how much you love them, right? And how inspired you are by their work ethic. Then you go through the list out 3 things. Here's what I know we can do better, right? It's not what you're doing wrong. It's here's what I know we can do better. And if you do this better, this is the result that's going to have them. Paint the map for them. Help walk them through the process. If we do this better, this is what's going to happen. And when this happens, you're going to see yourself be more confident, be more inspired, and just be a better overall person. So that's what I would do is sometimes you just go back to the basics. Don't rely on texting, right? Don't rely on email or slacking. Pick the phone up and call them and when you talk to somebody face to face, whether you're virtual or you're in the office, go over and just tell them how much you appreciate them, specifically what you appreciate about them, not their numbers, nothing, but what do you appreciate about them? And when you can do that, it's great. It's fantastic. You can catch me on LinkedIn. I'm Cameron Gilmore. LinkedIn, it's where you can hit me up the most. You can hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Mixed Tribe Dad. Mixed Tribe Dad. That's who I am on the Instagram. That's the two mediums that I spend the most time on. So,
thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, we have actually Ruben, founder of Dubb, just joining us here for the final moment. Oh, the screen went down. There he is. There he is. But yeah, just final question for Cam.
Yeah, I thought that was such a great presentation. I was just watching it here with my sorry, Daddy, with my two kids, and I really love your 3 takeaways. Yeah, it was really powerful. Just caring, talking about empathy, talking about personal growth. These are such important topics, man. I really appreciate your contribution.
Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate coming on. It's it's something I have passion about. When people really feel valued, especially now, this, Ruben, like the new currency is time. You can make all the money in the world, but if you have no time to spend with family or to be able to spend it, nobody cares. You probably know, I know a lot of people who make millions of dollars and are super unhappy because they have no time. But I know people that make 50, 60,000, but they're just as happy as can be because they have all the time in the world. So if we can change that mindset, help people feel valued, be empathetic towards them, and give them the time that they need, I'm telling you, you'll watch your organization grow leaps and bounds. That I can promise.
Well, what good advice was it to say, to work yourself out of a job? Because that mindset, it's rooted in so many powerful things, like overcoming the scarcity mindset, overcoming fear of becoming obsolete or having, people take certain things away from you, but then also creating processes, delegation, not being afraid to hire, scaling yourself up, scaling other people up, lifting other people up. These are such great leadership tips. So thank you so much. Absolutely.
I love coming on. It was awesome sharing some, tips and tricks. And anytime anybody wants, anything, I can tell people, learned knowledge not shared is just knowledge wasted. And that's what we got to do. The more knowledge that we can give, the better, not only as a business world, but a society we can become. And then that's what we're here for. That's why I love doing this stuff.
So good.
That's awesome. Thank you so much to Cameron Gilmore for coming on this edition of the Action Online Summit from Dubb.com. We'll catch you next time. Farewell, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.